Now ain't it funny? Then pay the money. Shows what you can do if your horse can act. Hooray for Hollywood. They hire fellas whose physiques are good, and then they tell them they're the perfect shaped men to act like ape men. Then they convince them they should. They make them grunt and yell, and people think it's swell. Hooray for Hollywood. Top girl, if she pleases
You are a rational being.
businessman. Hooray
No,
for
you must
Hollywood.
sit there. You have no choice.
In your neighborhood.
Accept the situation.
They think you can
Relax.
be an actor.
Make yourself
It's a
comfortable.
factor. It'll make your
Look at the
kisser
light.
look good. Within a half an hour, you look like Tyrone Power. Hooray for Hollywood.
Obey. Obey.
Hooray for
A
Hollywood.
robot without emotion.
That woolly, wild and woolly Hollywood. They hire cowboys and they hang their chaps up and Hooray for Hollywood, that screwy ballyhooey Hollywood, where any office boy or young mechanic can be a panic with just a good-looking pen. And any shop girl can be a top girl if she pleases a tired businessman. Hooray for Hollywood, you may be homely in your neighborhood, but if they think you can be an actor, see Mr. Factor, he'll make your kisser look good. Within a half an hour, you look like Tyrone Power. Hooray for Hollywood.
You are a rational being. No, you must sit there. You have no choice. Accept the situation. Relax. Make yourself comfortable. Look at the light.
Hooray for Hollywood, that woolly, wild and woolly Hollywood. They hire cowboys and they hang their chaps up, then doll their maps up and give them all that they like.
A
Now
robot
ain't it
without
funny? Then pay the money. Shows what you can do if your horse can act. Hooray for Hollywood. They hire fellas whose physiques are good, and then they tell them they're the perfect shaped men to act like ape men. Then they convince them they should. They make them grunt and yell, and people think it's swell. Hooray for Hollywood. Top girl, if she pleases
You are a rational
tired
being.
businessman. Hooray
No,
for
you must
Hollywood.
sit there. You have no choice.
In your neighborhood.
Accept the situation.
They think you can
Relax.
be an actor.
Make
See
yourself
Mr.
comfortable.
Factor, he'll make your
Look at the
kisser
light.
look good. Within a half an hour, you look like Tyrone Power. Hooray for Hollywood.
Obey.
scrappy.
Hooray for
A robot
Hollywood.
without
That
emotion.
woolly, wild and woolly Hollywood. They hire cowboys and they make them checks up and down.
Hey, Vort, are you there? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the movie tournament. And we're just waiting for our host to show up here, Vortman. We're not sure where he's at right now, so I know you've been waiting for months for this moment. Tonight, we're going to knock out 32 movies out of this tournament. We're going to take you live to the Windy City here in a second, just as soon as we figure out where our host is. Our movie critic extraordinaire, Vortman's eagerly awaiting our arrival. I'm told the sealed envelopes have been delivered. The host has been prepping, getting jokes ready all day, so without a moment's more delay, take it away, Brett M. Hartsfeld. Hey, Brett. Deborah, can you get Vort? I don't think he's ready. Sorry about the technical difficulties, everyone. What in the fuck? Hey, Vortman, thank you for joining us. Better late than ever. Can you mute your computer?
What was that?
Can you mute your computer?
Starting with the rules already. Here. Starting with the rules. In order to keep this tournament without bias, in order to keep rambling. Alright, we're all taped up, so. Alright, we're all taped up, so. Alright, we're all taped up, so.
Vort? Hey, Vort,
Hey,
can you hear me? This is your host.
Matchups here. I have how I'm supposed to introduce them, and then you sort of you have it set up as a choose-your own adventure where I can only quote strip from movies. So all dialogue from here on out is going to be from the movies. No descriptions sent forth. Let's start with the aging patriarch of an organ.
Hang on a second.
In our first matchup tonight, we have 15-year-old Sarah accidentally wishing her baby half-brother Toby away to the Goblin King Jareth, who will keep Toby if Sarah does not complete his labyrinth in 13 hours. Now,
Hollywood.
No, you mustn't sit there. You have no choice. Accept the situation. Relax. Make yourself look at the place.
Hooray for Hollywood, that bully, wild and woolly Hollywood. They hire cowboys and they hang their chaps up and doll their maps up and give them all that they like. Now ain't it funny? Then pay the money. Shows what you can do if your horse can act. Hooray for Hollywood. They hire fellas whose physiques are good, and then they tell them they're the perfect shaped men to act like ape men. Then they convince them they should. They make them grunt and yell, and people think it's swell. Hooray for Hollywood. You top girl, if she pleases
are a
a
rational
tired
being.
businessman. Hooray
No,
for
you mustn't have no choice. Accept the situation. Relax. Make yourself comfortable. Look at the light.
Good. Within a half an hour, you look like Tyrone Power. Hooray for Hollywood.
Obey. Obey. Obey.
Hooray for
A
Hollywood.
robot without
That
emotion.
woolly, wild and woolly Hollywood. They hire cowboys and they Hooray for Hollywood, that screwy ballyhooey Hollywood, where any office boy or young mechanic can be a panic with just a good-looking pen. And any shop girl can be a top girl if she pleases a tired beer.
Coming back.
If she pleases a tired beer.
Alright.
If she pleases a tired beer.
Alright. Matchup. We've got the planet from Alien has been colonized, but contact is lost. This time, the rescue team has impressive firepower, but will it be enough? Versus a free pursuing a murder investigation finds himself dealing with very different culture in Beverly Hills. So we, all right, we've got a horror versus a comedy in Beverly Hills Cop. We have Alien with 12 votes. We have Beverly Hills Cop with 13. Upset. This is the second of the three closest matches of the first round. Fun fact, if only High Council votes were counted, High Council, the people who submitted lists to the game, which made the initial field here, Aliens would have won 8-7. Another fun fact, Carl Dorbad to load the vote totals by voting twice, which initially registered this match as a flat tie, but his nefarious duplicity was caught before the vote was sealed. Beverly Hills Cop wins. Sorry, Carl. All right, sweethearts, what are you waiting for? Breakfast in bed, another glorious day in the corpse. A day in the Marine Corps is like a day on the farm. Every meal's a banquet, every paycheck a fortune, every formation a parade. I love the Corps. And hey, maybe you shouldn't have been keeping up on current events. We just got our asses kicked here, pal. All right, sweethearts, you heard the man, and you know the drill. Assholes and elbows. All right. Moving on. The drug-induced utopias of 4 Coney Island individuals are shattered when their addictions become stronger. Versus a devastated Peter taking a Hawaiian vacation in order to deal with his recent breakup with his TV star girlfriend, Sarah. Little does he know, Sarah's traveling to the same resort as her ex, and she's bringing along her new boyfriend. That doesn't read correctly, but I know what they're getting at. We've got Requiem for a Dream versus Forgetting Sarah Marshall. All right, drug board. Requiem for a Dream, 18 votes versus Forgetting Sarah Marshall with a measly 7. Nobody likes a little male nudity in their comedy? Well, moving on. Mankind finds a mysterious, obviously artificial artifact buried on the moon, and the intelligent computer HAL sets off on a quest. Versus a wheelchair-bound photographer spies on his neighbors from his apartment window and becomes convinced one of them has committed murder. 2001 versus Rear Window. No Love for Hitchcock. 2001, 15-9. Now we come to step 3. This drives most people, and that's the trouble with you New York dope fiends. You got a rotten attitude. And sorry for getting Sarah Marshall. Are those sad tissues or happy tissues? Once again, the script has been wrestled away from me, and I'm sticking to quotes. When a childless couple of an ex-con and an ex-cop decide to help themselves to another family's quadruplets, their lives get more complicated than they anticipated. Verse the murderous bride who continues her vengeance quest against her ex-boss Bill and 2 remaining associates, his younger brother Bud, and Bill's latest flame, Ellie. Of course, we're talking about Raising Arizona versus Kill Bill. I think I'm gonna beat this 40 down, and that wasn't the whole point of the game. But let's cue up the quotes here. Interesting 4-minute club. And in the matchup, Raising Arizona versus Kill Bill Volume 2. Coen Brothers. Raising Arizona 14. Kill Bill Volume 2 10. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Biology and other prejudices of others can spot about. Let's start again there. 800 leaf tables and no chairs. You can't sell leaf tables and no chairs. Chairs, you got a dinette set. No chairs, you got dick. All right. Number 7. 2 boys growing up in a violent neighborhood of Rio de Janeiro take different paths. One becomes a photographer, the other a drug dealer. Versus a documentary telling the story of Dick Pronote, who in the late 1960s built his cabin in the wilderness at the base of the Aleutian Peninsula. Of course, we're talking about City of God versus Alone in the Wilderness. City of God, 15-4. Some people afraid to vote on movies they haven't seen. It was like a message from God. Honesty doesn't pay, sucker. And the sun is for everyone. The beach is for a few. City of God, moving on. Now we come to the matchup of a traumatized Vietnam War veteran who finds out that his post-war life isn't what he believes it to be when he's attacked by horned creatures in the subway and his dead son comes to visit him. Or maybe you prefer a family determined to get their younger daughter into the finals of a beauty pageant, take a cross-country trip in their VW bus. In Jacob's Ladder versus Little Miss Sunshine. Jacob's Ladder, 14-10. There are two kinds of people in the world, winners and losers. Okay? You know what the difference is? Well, I'm not going to finish a quote by a loser. So, moving on. What would you say if 3 unemployed parapsychology professors set up shop as a unique ghost removal service? Maybe a movie great enough to inspire this whole tournament. Sorry, script. Verse, a popular Broadway actor, Gary Johnston, is recruited by an elite counterterrorism organization, Team America World Police. As the world begins to crumble around him, he must battle with terrorists, celebrities, and falling in love. Of course, we're talking Ghostbusters versus Team America. Puppets or Venkman? A blowout. Ghostbusters, 22-3. Woo! We've been going about this all wrong. This Mr. Stay Puft's okay. He's a sailor. He's in New York. We get this guy laid. We won't have any trouble. Verse, I'll drill 2 holes through your dick so that when you pee, it shoots out in all different directions. All right. Moving on. Mel Brooks brings his one-of-a-kind comic touch to the history of mankind, covering events from the Old Testament to the French Revolution in a series of episodic comedy vignettes. Verse, neurotic New York comedian Alvy Singer falling in love with ditzy Annie Hall. Who do you like, Uno? History of the World Part 1 versus Annie Hall. All right, History of the World, 17, Annie Hall, 4. What's with all these awards? They're always giving out awards. Best fascist dictator, Adolf Hitler. Boring movie. All right, so we voted Ghostbusters. Let me keep things organized here. City of God, all right. And finally, in the first 10 matchups, an airplane crew takes ill. Surely the only person capable of landing the plane is an ex-pilot afraid to fly. But don't call him Shirley. Versus Robbie, the singer, and Julia, the waitress. They're both engaged to be married, but to the wrong people. Fortune intervenes to help them discover each other. That's right. Airplane versus the wedding singer. Airplane, 19, wedding singer, 6. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. Okay, so I apologize, it was a little rough, but on the 12 through 22 here, let's see where we, actually I believe it's 11 through 22. We're saving Best Picture for the last award of the evening. And we'll start with Ralphie. He has to convince his parents, teachers, and Santa that a Red Ryder BB gun is really the perfect gift for the 1940s versus a martial artist. He agrees to spy on a reclusive crime lord using his invitation to a tournament there as cover. Christmas Story versus Enter the Dragon. A Christmas Story 15, Enter the Dragon 10. Alright. Batman, Gordon, and Harvey Dent are forced to deal with the chaos unleashed by a terrorist mastermind known only as the Joker, as he drives each of them to their limits, versus a sleazy cable TV programmer begins to see his life and the future of media spin out of control in a very unusual fashion when he acquires a new kind of programming for his station.
Gotta be on your game today, honey.
You bet.
Of course, I'm talking about The Dark Knight.
What's bringing it?
Just botched. Sorry. That was from Videodrome. I don't think it's going to win. And Dark Knight crushes at 19-5. Now, an incompetent, immature, and dim-witted heir to an auto parts factory must save the business to keep it out of the hands of his new con artist relatives and big business. Versus a Mumbai teen who grew up in the slums, becomes a contestant on the Indian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He is arrested under suspicion of cheating, and while being interrogated, events from his life history are shown which explain why he knows the answer. Tommy Boy or Slumdog? Can a comedy win? I didn't think it was in there. No, it cannot. Slumdog Millionaire. I don't believe that's really an upset, though. That's a better movie. I mean, really. However, be careful. The guidebook was written by a bunch of lazy, good-for-nothing Indian beggars. And well, the Slumdog barks. Moving on. Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey, set in the Deep South during the 1930s. In it, 3 escaped convicts search for hidden treasure while a relentless lawman pursues them. Or, do you prefer 2 stoners unknowingly smuggling a van made entirely of marijuana from Mexico to LA, with incompetent Sergeant Stadenko on their trail? Oh, brother, verse Up in Smoke. 24-1. Oh, brother, where art thou? This was the single biggest blowout of the first round. Poor Cheech and Chong, mustering only a single vote. Nice try, Dula. Spinal Tap. The world's loudest band is chronicled by hack documentarian Marty DeBerge on what proves to be a fateful tour. Or go back to 1962 college. Dean Werner Wormer is determined to expel the entire Delta Tau Chi fraternity, but those troublemakers have other plans for him. This is Spinal Tap. First Animal House. I don't want fop, damn it. I'm a Dapper Dan man. Almost moved on. Animal House, big upset. 16-9. It says big upset. I probably would have went with Animal House. Well, if you're trying to text me, it's full. We're almost to halftime. We'll be taking a break shortly. And we can follow up then. In the last matchup of the first half, a computer hacker learns from mysterious rebels about the true nature of his reality and his role in the war against its controllers. Or college and high school serve as the backdrop for two stories about dysfunction and personal turmoil. The Matrix versus storytelling. The Matrix, 19-4. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. Get yourself a drink. I'm going to get changed into some new clothes here. And we'll follow up in the second half.
Continue today to see whether baseball superstar Bob Uecker would be admitted into the Hall of Fame. There is a new voting system, though. All of Bob's former teammates and friends are eligible to vote, as are his army of fans, in deciding whether or not Mr. Baseball should be a Hall of Famer. Here are some early returns. The yes votes number an impressive 10,515. And here are the no votes. Wow, only 9,012.
I think it's a disgrace. The Hall of Fame waits for Bob Uecker.
Yeah, I think they could use Bob up there as their superstar.
I don't know about you guys. I would say the biggest contribution that Bob Uecker made to baseball was when he decided to retire from baseball.
Well, now that we've heard what the players think, how about the fans? Should Bob Uecker be voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Are you kidding?
The guy's terrible. He can't bat. I'd vote for him, and I'm sure everybody else that's here would vote for him, considering he has that face.
The votes are pouring in, and is this ever close? It's going to come down to the wire. And here we have it. The final votes are in. Yes votes tally 12,600,222. The no votes come to 12,600,223.
One vote. One vote what? Where am I? Where am I? Where's one vote? Oh.
Welcome to the wacky world of sports. The wacky, tacky, wacky world of sports. A life is what you need, then a life is guaranteed. Watch the clouds falling down, everything is upside down. Right here on the wacky world of sports. Famous plays and players blooping on the courts. It's a go and a half. Fill your bellies with a laugh. Right here on the wacky world. The wacky world. Right here on the wacky world of sports.
Welcome to the all-new Bob Uecker's Wacky World of Sports, starring Bob Uecker. Mr. Baseball has plenty of treats in store for you, including a visit from the shooting chef, strange surfing, the ping pong pussycat, the skateboarding pooch, bloopers from boxing, basketball, rodeo, baseball, and bowling. So sit back and enjoy Bob Uecker, who's just itching to get started.
All right, here's the play. Freddie, bring the ball down court. Pull up from 20 feet out and take a shot, but miss it on purpose to the right. Okay?
Yeah, but
Now, Edgar, come in here and screen for Junior. Junior, use the screen, chase down the missed shot, and put up a desperation 30-footer from the corner to win the game. Okay? Okay.
Here's the jump shot. No good to the right, but wait a minute. Junior puts up a 30-foot flare. Yes, they won the game. Oh, what a great play. And a great call by the coach.
This is my living room. It's a place where I can come in,
sit down, relax, and take a nostalgic look at some old pictures. Ah, the Euchre family album. Let's take a look at some of the real big names in history with the name Euchre. Hey, here's a shot of old Grandpa Duker Euchre. Uke the Duke, they call him. Yeah, man, this is the first guy that ever taught me how to play baseball. Boy, did he stress fundamentals, this guy. Matter of fact, he's the guy who taught me how to hit. I thank him to this day for it. Hey, here's my Uncle Rob. He was the biggest hit. Family reunions, all the kids used to love this guy. Anyway, here are some shots of my childhood heroes. Boy, bigger than life, these guys. DiMaggio, Ted Williams, Mantle, Lou Artonian. As fans, we idolize these superstars, you know? You know what the question I always wanted to know? I always had to ask myself this. Who do these athletes look up to? I mean, who are their heroes? Who are the heroes' heroes?
In hockey, Wayne Gretzky is king. Very few defenders have been able to stop him from scoring. But ask Gretzky who's the toughest player he ever faced, and he'll say Heine Heilmann, a defender so rough he would take his whole team down for good measure. In basketball, Dr. J is the king of the spin shot, but Julius Erving admits his ability can't compare to the magical touch of Jay Bancoli, whose free throw style of using heavy backspin is unmatched by any player. In golf, Gene Sarazen is as good as anyone who has ever hit a golf ball. But ask this hole-in-one master who is the straightest and most accurate player around. He'll answer Raymond W. Navis, a golfer whose drives always find a way in the cup. Sure, Jim Brown had great moves in football, but he'll tell you flippin' Phil Fonzarelli, the human flapjack, was the real king. In baseball, Brooks Robinson played the game heads up, always alert, but ask him who his mentor was, and he'll say Jumpin' Joe Vicino. Olympic champion Carl Lewis has few peers, but he admits he's tried to emulate the style of these superstars. And finally, soccer great Pele has scored more goals than any other player in soccer history. But who's the toughest goalie Pele ever faced? Cannonball Frank Richards. Nobody has ever scored past Cannonball Frank Richards. Hello. Hey.
And you're live.
Welcome back, Clay. Matrix quotes. So, perhaps we are asking the wrong questions. And unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. So, next round, I know nobody watched the Matrix this time. So, next time, Clay's insisting on some Matrix viewing. So, moving on, we've got a private detective investigating an adultery case stumbles onto a scheme of murder that has something to do with water versus a mining ship investigating a suspected SOS lands on a distant planet. The crew discovers some strange creatures and investigates. Of course, it's Chinatown and Alien. 17. Upset. Chinatown 11, Alien 12. This was the third extremely close matchup of the one of 64. If only High Council votes were considered, Chinatown would have edged out Alien 8-7. However, the collective voice of Uno has spoken, and Alien wins this match. You're dumber than you think. I think you are. There's an explanation for this, you know. Now, a bounty hunting scam joins two men in an uneasy alliance against a third in a race to find a fortune in gold buried in a remote cemetery. Craig and Smokey are two guys in Los Angeles hanging out on their porch on a Friday afternoon, smoking and drinking. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and Friday. Number 18. Good, the Bad, the Ugly. 16-7. Wow. All right. It's not a joke. It's a rope, Tuco. I want you to get up there and put your head in the noose. You see, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those with dig. You dig. You never had a rope around your neck. Well, I'm going to tell you, when that rope starts to pull tight, you can feel the devil bite your ass. Sorry, Shorty. That would have been better if you lost. For most people, Friday's just a day before the weekend. But after this Friday, the neighborhood's never going to be the same. All right. Sorry, Smokey. The bride wakes up after a long coma. The baby that she carried before entering the coma is gone. The only thing on her mind is to have revenge on the assassination team that betrayed her. A team she was once part of. Versus a faded country music musician is forced... A faded country music musician? Alright, well, is forced to reassess his dysfunctional life during a doomed romance that also inspires him. Kill Bill Volume 1. First Crazy Heart. Number 19. Kill Bill 17-7. Sorry, Wang Dog. Wiggle your big toe. The hard part's over. Now let's get these other piggies wiggling. Piggies wiggling. Alright, it's starting to work. Good. I think by the last 11 we'll be moving here. Jake Blues, just out from prison, puts together his old band to save a Catholic home where he and his brother Elwood were raised. Or do you prefer the year 2027 in a chaotic world in which humans can no longer procreate? A former activist agrees to help transport a miraculously pregnant woman to a sanctuary at sea where... I'm already bored reading it, so let's hope it didn't advance. Blues Brothers vs. Children of Men. Blues Brothers! On a mission from God. That better be here. We're on a mission from God. I was told to tell you that you're a fascist pig. Or your baby is the miracle the whole world has been waiting for. Alright. Let's see why you didn't make it. Excuse me. Number 21. A boy inadvertently breaks 3 important rules concerning his new pet and unleashes a horde of malevolently, mischievous monsters on a small town. A horde of malevolently? I don't know. Well... I'm not an English major. I didn't write this. Very nice. Mischievous monsters on a small town. Or would you prefer an innovative concert movie for the rock group The Talking Heads? Gremlins! First Stop Making Sense. Number 21.
Gremlins 10, Stop Making Sense 14. One of the closer matchups. Once again, if a high council were the only voters, Gremlins barely beats out Stop Making Sense 8-7. But in the end, Stop Making Sense takes it for the win. So let's do some Stop Making Sense quotes. I've got a tape here I want you to play, and would like to thank our crew. Good night. So, a lot of dialogue to work with on that one. Now, moving on, 23 through 32, which is really 22 through 32 since we're saving the Chud Monster. Alright, well, we'll find that in a minute. Sorry. Yay. Alright. Don't worry, Clay, they're all still in order here. Of course. Perfect order. Alright. Now, we have an in-depth examination of the way that Vietnam War affects the lives of people in a small industrial town in the USA. Verse, in order to inherit his fed-up father's hotel empire, an immature, lazy man must repeat grades 1 through 12 all over again. The Deer Hunter versus Number 12, 22. Deer Hunter! Roulette. Let's see what we have to work with. Deer Hunter. You're so full of shit, you're gonna float away. When a man says no to champagne, he says no to life. Incompetent cop Frank Drebin has to foil an attempt to assassinate Queen Elizabeth II. Maybe you prefer seeing the Coholuasi River before it's turned into one huge lake. Outdoor fanatic Lewis Medlock takes his friends on a river rafting trip they'll never forget in this dangerous American backcountry classic, Deliverance versus The Naked Gun. 23. Naked Gun, 14. Deliverance, 10. Let's see. Pedro face. Forrest Gump, while not intelligent, has accidentally been present at many historic moments, but his true love, Jenny, eludes him. Verse, a Chicago weatherman, separated from his wife and children, debates whether professional and personal success are mutually exclusive. Forrest Gump versus the Weatherman. And I actually own the Weatherman on DVD. It's at Pedro's house. I don't know if anybody else here owns the Weatherman, but I do. Put these in order. I'm falling off the script. And I have very strict instructions. Forrest Gump 21. Weatherman 1. Poor Nick Cage. One solitary vote. Sad face. Third largest blowout. Dear God, make me a bird so I could fly far, far, far away. People don't throw things at me anymore, maybe because I carry a bow around. Well, sorry, Nick Cage. A Jewish man has a wonderful romance with the help of his humor, but must use that same quality to protect his son in a Nazi death camp. Verse, the incredible story of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, told in flashback mode by Antonio Salieri. A new confined now confined to an insane asylum. Of course, Life is Beautiful versus Amadeus, number 25. Life is Beautiful 15, Amadeus 8. Life is Beautiful for the win. What kind of a place is this? It's beautiful. I'm not even going to finish the quote. That's pretty good. Two imprisoned men bond over a number of years, finding solace and eventual redemption through acts of common decency. What are we talking about? Shawshank. Who's Shawshank taking on? Ron Burgundy, that's who. And Ron Burgundy is San Diego's top-rated newsman in the male-dominated broadcasting of the 1970s, but that's all about to change when a new female employee with ambition to burn arrives in his office. Alright, Shawshank Redemption with 20, Anchorman with 5. I'll have 3 fingers of Glenlivet with a little bit of pepper and some cheese. That's how I feel about that one. In 1980 Miami, a determined Cuban immigrant takes over a drug cartel while succumbing to greed. Verse, 7 complete strangers of wildly varying personality characteristics are involuntarily placed in an endless Kafkaesque maze containing deadly traps. Scarface Cube. 27. Scarface. 20. Scarface. You know what? Fuck you. How about that? That's pretty much sums up the win. That's a great acceptance speech, Tony Montana. In a future world devastated by disease, a convict is sent back in time to gather information about the man-made virus that wiped out most of the human population on the planet. First, King Leonidas and a force of 300 men fight the Persians at Thermopylae in 480 BC. Alright, I mean, if this should have been the biggest blowout. No one should have voted for 300. Whoever even saved it, number 28. 12 Monkeys, 22-2. What do you have to say about that, Monkey Man? There's no right. There's no wrong. There's only popular opinion. Popular opinion says you're moving on to the next round. 2 victims of traumatized childhoods become lovers and psychopath. Alright, 2 victims of traumatized childhoods become lovers and psychopathic serial murderers, irresponsibly glorified by the mass media. Or Amélie, an innocent, naive girl in Paris with her own sense of justice. She decides to help those around her along the way. Discovers love. Natural Born Killers, Amélie. 29. Natural Born Killers, 15-10. Alright. What do we have to say to that? You make every day feel like kindergarten. Or, I like to look at things no one else catches. I hate the way drivers never look at the road in old American movies. At least you'll never be a vegetable. Even artichokes have hearts. I had 2 heart attacks and abortion did crack while I was pregnant. Other than that, I'm fine. So, I'm ready. A story about family greed, religion, and oil centered around a turn-of-the-century prospector in the early days of business. Verse, at the end of his career, a clueless fashion model is brainwashed to kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia. There will be blood. Versus Zoolander. Number 30. There will be blood. 18-7. Alright, sorry, I'll stick to the script. I'm just saying. A Missouri farmer joins a Confederate guerrilla unit and winds up on the run from Union soldiers who murdered his family. Or maybe you prefer post-apocalyptic surrealist black comedy about the landlord of an apartment building who occasionally prepares a delicacy for his odd tenants. I want Josie Wales. Give me a dog. Spit on. Delicatessen. 31. Delicatessen, 16-7. Huge upset. Sorry, Quarry. No. The moment we've been waiting for. You're going to have to wait another moment. All right.
My
Maybe
child
if this wasn't a 40-page script.
Meeting was a fight. We were growing apart. It got to the point that after so much insisting, I'd give him anything just so we would eat something. My son wasn't getting all the necessary nutrients, so his pediatrician recommended Pediasure.
Pediasure is a source of complete balanced nutrition to help support healthy growth and development. It's the brand most recommended by pediatricians.
Just hold on, there's a commercial on my end so they can't hear you.
Him growing healthy.
Yeah, 5 more seconds.
Complete balanced nutrition for him. Peace of mind for you.
All right, you're back.
All right, thank you for letting me know that we were at commercial. That would have been pretty funny. Sorry if we would have not given you the story of an aging patriarch of an organized crime dynasty transferring control to his clandestine empire to his reluctant son. Of course, it's up against a bizarre series of murders in New York City, which seems to point towards the existence of a race of mutant cannibals living under the streets. Now, this is best movie. This is number 1 in the tournament. Number 1 seed Godfather versus the number 256 seed. This has never happened. This is the best movie. Godfather 17, Chud 6.
Boo.
Well, some people want to take their tournament seriously. I don't know. And we'll see you next month. I'm going to go finish my shower.